types in Java. There are majorly two types of languages. First, one is statically typed language where each variable and expression type is already known at compile time. Once a variable is declared to be of a certain data type, it cannot hold values of other data types. Example, C, C++, Java. The other is dynamically typed languages. These languages can receive different data types over time. Example, Ruby, Python. Java is statically typed and also a strongly typed language because, in Java, each type of data, such as integer, character, hexadecimal, packed decimal, and so forth, is predefined as part of the programming language, and all constants or variables defined for a given program must be described with one of the data types. Data types in Java. Java has two categories of data. Primitive data type, such as Boolean, char, int, short, byte, long, float, and double. Non-primitive data type or object data type, such as string, array, etc. Primitive data type. Primitive data are only single values and have no special capabilities. There are 8 primitive data types. 0. Boolean. Boolean data type represents only one bit of information, either true or false, but the size of the Boolean data type is virtual machine dependent. Values of type Boolean are not converted implicitly or explicitly, with cast to any other type, but the programmer can easily write conversion code. Syntax. Boolean Boolean var. Size. Virtual machine dependent. Values. True, false. Default value. False. Java program to demonstrate Boolean data type. Class Geeks for Geeks, public static void main, string args, Boolean b equals true, if b equals true, system.out.println, hi geek. 1. Output. Hi geek. 0. Byte. The byte data type is an 8-bit signed whose complement integer. The byte data type is useful for saving memory in large arrays. Syntax. Byte var. Size. 1 byte, 8 bits. Values. 128 to 127. Default value. 0. Java program to demonstrate byte data type in Java. Class Geeks for Geeks, public static void main, string args, byte equals 126. Byte is 8-bit value, system.out.println, a++, system.out.println, a. It overflows here because byte can hold values from -128 to 127 a++, system.out.println, a. Looping back within the range a++, system.out.println, a. Output, 126 127 128 127. 0. Short. The short data type is a 16-bit signed whose complement integer. Similar to byte, use a short to save memory in large arrays, in situations where the memory saving actually matters. Syntax. Short var. Size. 2 byte, 16 bits. Values. 32, 768 to 32, 767 inclusive. Default value. 0. 4. Int. It is a 32-bit signed whose complement integer. Syntax. Int var. Size. 4 byte, 32 bits. Values. 2, 147, 483, 648 to 2, 147, 483, 647 inclusive. Default value. 0. Note: in Java SE8 and later, we can use the int data type to represent an unsigned 32-bit integer, which has value in the range 0 to 132. Use the integer class to use int data type as an unsigned integer. 0. Long. The long data type is a 64-bit 2's complement integer. Syntax. Long var. Size. 8 byte, 64 bits. Values. -9, 223, 372, 036, 854, 775, 808 to 9, 223, 372, 036, 854, 775, 807 inclusive. Default value 0. Note: in Java SE8 and later, you can use the long data type to represent an unsigned 64-bit long, which has a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 264. The long class also contains methods like comparing unsigned, divide unsigned, etc. to support arithmetic operations for unsigned long. 0. Float. The float data type is a single precision 32-bit IEEE 754 floating point. Use a float instead of double if you need to save memory in large arrays of floating point numbers. Syntax. Float var. Size. 4 byte, 32 bits. Values. Up to 7 decimal digits. Default value. 0.0. 7. Double. The double data type is a double precision 64-bit IEEE 754 floating point. For decimal values, this data type is generally the default choice. Syntax. Double var. Size. 8 byte, 64 bits. Values. Up to 16 decimal digits. Default value. 0.0. Note: both float and double data types were designed especially for scientific calculations, where approximation errors are acceptable. If accuracy is the most prior concern, then it is recommended not to use these data types and use big decimal class instead. Please see this for details. Rounding off errors in Java. 0. Char. The char data type is a single 16-bit Unicode character. Syntax. Char var. Size. 2 byte, 16 bits. Values. U00000 UF 65535. Default value. U00000 Y is the size of char is 2 byte in Java. In other languages like C++ uses only ASCII characters, and to represent all ASCII characters 8 bits is enough, but Java uses the Unicode system, not the ASCII code system, and to represent Unicode system 8-bit is not enough to represent all characters, so Java uses 2 bytes for characters. Unicode defines a fully international character set that can represent most of the world's written languages. It is a unification of dozens of character sets, such as Latin, Greek, Cyrillic, Katakana, Arabic, and many more. Java program to demonstrate primitive data types in Java. Class Geeks for Geeks, public static void main, string args, declaring character char equals G. Integer data type is generally used for numeric values int I equals 89. Use byte and short if memory is a constraint byte b equals 4. This will give error as number is larger than byte range byte b1 equals 788888955. Short s equals 56. This will give error as number is larger than short range short s1 equals 878787877878. By default fraction value is double in Java. Double D equals 4.3554533532. For float use, f as suffix float f equals 4.73333434f. System.out.println, char, plus a, system.out.println, integer, plus I, system.out.println, byte, plus b, system.out.println, short, plus S, system.out.println, float, plus F, system.out.println, double, plus D, output, char, G integer, 89 byte, 4 short, 56 float, 4.7333436 double, 4.355453532. Non-primitive data type or reference data types. The reference data types will contain a memory address of variable value because the reference types won't store the variable value directly in memory. They are strings, objects, arrays, etc. Strings are defined as an array of characters. The difference between a character array and a string in Java is, the string is designed to hold a sequence of characters in a single variable, whereas a character array is a collection of separate char-type entities. Unlike C++, Java strings are not terminated with a null character. Below is the basic syntax for declaring a string in Java programming language. Syntax: string underscore type string underscore variable equals sequence underscore of underscore string. Example: declare string without using new operator string s equals geeks for geeks. Declare string using new operator string s1 equals new string geeks for geeks. Class: a class is a user-defined blueprint or prototype from which objects are created. It represents the set of properties or methods that are common to all objects of one type. In general, class declarations can include these components, in order. 1. Modifiers. A class can be public or has default access, refer this for details. 2. Class name. The name should begin with the initial letter, capitalized by convention. 3. Superclass, if any. The name of the class's parent, superclass, if any, preceded by the keyword extends. A class can only extend subclass one parent. 4. Interfaces, if any. A comma-separated list of interfaces implemented by the class, if any, preceded by the keyword implements. A class can implement more than one interface. 5. Body. The class body surrounded by braces. Object. It is a basic unit of object-oriented programming and represents the real-life entities. A typical Java program creates many objects, which, as you know, interact by invoking methods. An object consists of 1. State. It is represented by attributes of an object. It also reflects the properties of an object. 2. Behavior. It is represented by methods of an object. It also reflects the response of an object with other objects. 3. Identity. It gives a unique name to an object and enables one object to interact with other objects. Interface. Like a class, an interface can have methods and variables, but the methods declared in an interface are by default abstract, only method signature, no body. Interfaces specify what a class must do and not how. It is the blueprint of the class. An interface is about capabilities. Like a player may be an interface, and any class implementing player must be able to, or must implement move. So it specifies a set of methods that the class has to implement. If a class implements an interface and does not provide method bodies for all functions specified in the interface, then the class must be declared abstract. A Java library example is comparator interface. If a class implements this interface, then it can be used to sort a collection. Array. An array is a group of like-typed variables that are referred to by a common name. Arrays in Java work differently than they do in C++. The following are some important points about Java arrays. In Java, all arrays are dynamically allocated. Discussed below. Since arrays are objects in Java, we can find their length using member length. This is different from C++, where we find length using size. A Java array variable can also be declared like other variables with, after the data type. The variables in the array are ordered and each has an index beginning from 0. Java array can also be used as a static field, a local variable or a method parameter. The size of an array must be specified by an int value and not long or short. The direct superclass of an array type is object. Every array type implements the interfaces clonable and java.io.serializable.